Excuse me. Just starting off with this video is I haven't really thought about this for a while, but it's been in the back of my mind for a while to do this video, and some people have been asking me to do one for ages, so I'm bringing this up, which is just me talking to you guys with the camera, doing a slight Q&A video, and I want to do it now because it's been ages since I've done a Q&A with you lot, so it'd be nice to just do a little one, just to hear people's comments, because I've been reading some of the comments and I want to bring them up momentarily. Obviously, I want to mention a few of my videos. Next week I've got something I'm going to be going back to look over my old videos for next week's video, but for this video I want to read all the comments on the chat videos, well, not the chat videos, but more onto the short videos that have been so popular, and there's personal things that people have asked me which I'll bring into this video as well. So I want to start this video off to saying this is a small, medium-sized Q&A video, me talking to you guys how much things have changed for myself for being a content creator myself, and how I go about making videos, to personal topics that I have never brought up in the past videos that I want to bring up today's video. And there's some questions that people ask me on my short videos, which I will go through with you guys, which I'm gonna read them, and then I'm just going to read them and have my own thoughts on it, because I think that's the most important thing to do. Be honest about everything I read, and obviously let's start with a simple thing. Recent years, obviously, for my last, I'm trying to think how many years I've been on YouTube, it's not been 10 years. That would be in 2040, yeah. So in 2040 will be close to 10 years on the channel, but it's obviously been, what, in 2025, so 2015 to 2035, that makes it 5 years old, 5 years. So yeah, my changes over the years I've been on YouTube, from doing big videos to shorter videos, and then the odd shorts in between. I've done quite a lot of different types of videos over my time making content of the last 5 years. I've done quite a lot, and obviously it hasn't been 10 years. I've said this in one of my old videos, unfortunately a few weeks ago. I said I've been on YouTube for 10 years. It's only been 5 years at this current in time. If I keep it going for another, how many years, I don't know, for another 5, yes, I've reached 10 years of making content on my platform. And obviously I want to keep it going with the short videos for just the easy outside. My personal topic for short videos, I tend to focus on more of those now than I used to, probably because just trying to think this one out. I think I've been noticing after the last few years, from 2023 to 2024, with the longer videos I've been doing before I started doing all the shorts like I do now, I've been noticing the drop in the views, and obviously it means they're not as popular as they once were, and people lose interest in the same old places, and then having a slightly different video in between, like if you're going somewhere like Par or Penzance, or Dawlish, or even Exeter. I've done some filming up at Taunton, but it wasn't this year, no, it wasn't last year. I think my last video I did at Taunton was 2023, and I did a video up there it was a few years ago now, just before all the celebrations with the in-city HSTs and the Flying Scotsman and all that. I did that at the end of that year. I went up to Taunton, and that was my first long journey I did to film a long video up there. Obviously beyond that point, I did this year, I think, I'm trying to think how far I went this year on. This is another thing I wanted to bring up, and I will be completely honest. The first time I went on the charter service, and I filmed it, riding on it just for a bit, and just looking out the window from the charter service, because I was on the Midland Pullman this year. I was on it at the end of April this year, and I went on it because it was my 30th birthday treat, and it wasn't a cheap trip because it was paid by my family. And yeah, I enjoyed it, I really did. And because as you know, I'm very big fond of the HSTs in general, whatever livery they're in, even that's from the older versions to the new ones, I'm a big fan of them. It's one of my most passionate HST trains. The HSTs are my most passionate trains. That's why I'm trying to have the whole collection of different versions of them. But I'm going to put that into a different video to put the whole story into that, because this video is not all about that. I had a comment on people, I had people comment on some of my videos over the last few weeks saying, how do you edit your videos? Well, I use a program called Filmora, which is an editing software. You basically, you pick it out your file, your video out of the file, put it into the edit software, and you can make some changes to it to make it a bit more efficient and, you know, make it more official type of video to make it look better. Which I have done on my gaming channel, I have done on my main channel, which is my train channel. Obviously I've done a lot over this channel, especially because it's my main channel. I started with this channel, and I've done a lot over many years. I mean, the ones I put up today were shorts from the rail tours, the rail tour I saw today. One I saw in July, which was the Midland Pullman, and then we had a pair of Class 57 through Dawlish back in August, I think it was. And obviously that was a while back, because obviously I haven't been out there very much this year overall. I've been out there in July. I went out there last week. Not last week, the week before. I went out there 2 weeks ago. I went out there and I filmed a random video of different types of trains. I'm just trying to find the best videos that I've done in the shorts, because obviously at the moment I have done, my last long video I'd done was at Senurf. I did that last week. 2 weeks before I did Par, and then 3 weeks before that I did Dawlish, Day Out Dawlish. And that week, I'm trying to think, was it that week I saw the rail tour? And then a month ago I was at Bodmin Parkway doing a 23-minute video. There was a West Coast Railways Class 87 each end, and it went down as far as Par, I believe. It could be Penzance. And there was another rail tour I added onto that, and there was a pair of Class 50, a Class 50 from the Heritage Railway onto that, because I thought it would be quite nice to mix them up. So, I mean, this is my recent content over the last several years. Some are good, some are not as great, because the views can change. And I know some of my viewers, some of my my unboxing videos have been good. I know some people have commented on that, like, they're really good, but they need a little bit edited, they need a little bit done. I know, I looked on and I'm back on them the last few weeks and seen they need a bit clearing up a bit, and they changing a bit. And my old videos, my old videos have a minimum of 10 views. That's insane. But that's where I started from. You know, I started from the basic videos, from my minimal of 46 views, 11 views, 12 views, and 11 again. That's the amount of views I used to get. The lowest 9 and 5. This is 5 years old, this stuff here. 2018. So this is 5 years ago. That's 2020. So 5 years old. We're now in 2025, so that's 7 or 8. So getting close to 10 years. Getting close. But not for another few years at least to get up to 10 years, because we still haven't done. But yeah, 2020 was a terrible year for me, and probably for many others, because obviously we were all stuck indoors. And this is something else I want to bring in, because I have read this other comment during this personal conversation that I saw on one of the texts on one of the old videos that I put up as a small short, and someone said, I don't want to put the actual words into this video, but there's someone considering committing that depressive thought ending their life, unfortunately, and I didn't really put much into the context of what I replied back with, but I did say that you should put a different idea in your head and, you know, get some counselling, helps you out, and talk to someone about your feelings. And yeah, it's not a nice thing to go through. I've been through it myself. I went a few years before COVID, suffered big time, and I still do now. For this day, most people don't see it, but I do hide well. I do suffer depression a lot, and the way I cope with it now is very different to how I used to cope with it. Nowadays, when I go out filming the short videos for the trains, and when I unbox a model train for my layout, or I go on an Aerodrome video, or go to Dawlish and have a day out, I just take the day as taking a deep breath and just start your new month. Just have your mind reset to have a more peaceful mindset when you start your day. Put your mind into something positive, and don't let the negative set of people trying to control it, or you've got a negative thought in you because there's something playing in the back of your mind from the past maybe, or something else going on that's really bugging you. I have that happen too, and it's not a fun thing. I remember when I went through a phase in my life during COVID, I did certain things that I look back on now and I think I was completely crazy, because some of the things I used to do back then were not healthy and not very safe. And I remember when my ex-friend as well, she told me, you know, you shouldn't do that. That would, you know, end your life eventually if you don't consider the possibilities of it. And it gave me to think about for some years, to think doing those sort of things constantly means. I had a father, well, I have a father, and his father died from lung cancer, and he was a heavy drinker as well, because it meant, and this is across to other people who are going through the same phase at the moment in time, smoking and drinking is a big problem. And yes, I do have the odd drink, but I don't have loads in high quantities. I just have the odd one. But the trouble is, I found from the friends I ever used to have and some of my family members I used to be in contact with, some of them were quite fond of drinking, and the others not so much. But it's a personal thing, and if you consider change the things that really affect your mental health and your general behaviour, because mentally it will make you feel tired, depressed and angry, and you want to take out a lot of people. I get it, but it's not the best way to do it. Personally, to me, in the last 5 years, I have done a lot of changes for myself as well for the content, and yeah, I've done a lot. I mean, I've done a lot of different things over my time with different things. I have also had something I'm going to bring up in a minute. If you are extremely depressed and you're thinking with negative thoughts in your head, get a new idea, have a positive mindset, and just find a way to release that stress. It's better than holding on for it forever and build up in your system to the point you want to throw it out of maybe your close friends or family, and they're going to have the brunt of it because they're going to be the ones that have no reason why you're doing it, but you know you know why you're doing it, because either someone or something's wind you up, or you may be mentally or physically drained or in pain. And most people turn towards their friends and family when it comes to their pain. They throw it at them because they don't know what else to do. It's not a nice thing to go through, but I do generally think, over what I've been through and what I see my sister and my mum's gone through over the last few years, that both of them been through tough times in different ways. But as for me, I've been through a lot before. I mean, during 2022, I had a rough point in my life where during the autumn of 2022, I had meningitis, which meant I was stuck in hospital for 3 weeks with a secondary infection. And I'm not normally prone to infections. However, with my skin being compromised with my psoriasis and probably also affected by my epilepsy, I do suffer with more conditions than I used to, and that's probably because of that. And yes, my epilepsy is something, it's under control with medication, but obviously before that I had that as the whole effect of my whole life basically. But that's because I had a tumour when I was a child. I didn't really communicate very well back then because my speech it wasn't really there. So I was trying to do sign language to understand how I was feeling towards the friends I had in school. So I did struggle quite a lot growing up, and an abusive father especially kind of affects on your attitude towards others, and it kind of affects everything else around you. And yeah, I personally think the most supportive people I had in my life growing up is my mum and my sister. They're the two I mainly lean on when I'm struggling with something, because I still kind of live with my mum and she tries to support me as much as I can, bless her. I mean, I know she's going through a lot herself with her friends and whatnot, but it's something I'm not very good at expressing myself with my own feelings, is how I personally feel on the inside, because when I'm really bad, I tend to be silent and just stay quiet and not say anything, and I tend to be distanced away from people. That's because I have very extreme trust issues towards people after how I've been treated over in the past, which I'm not leaning on, but I know that that's made a big impact on my life in a way. It means I'm not very keen on opening up to new people to be in my life, and means I'm very distant and cold generally. I do try my best to open to new possibilities with what I want to do in my life, and obviously I want to make it come a dream. But again, it's going to take time, patience, and dedication. It takes all these things if you're going to open yourself up. And yes, this comment I read Now, I think a few days ago, one of the persons said, how do you make your photo slides on YouTube? This is a different type of subject. How do I explain it? It's basically you put a video into what I said earlier, to my editing software called Filmora. You put it into a system. You put it into this little place in the editing software, and you put them up next to each other, and then you can either choose to put a music slide in it, and you can have effects on it. And that's why sometimes when I'm making a video, you can do this sort of thing, and it flips onto the next picture or video, for the main video comes into play. And yeah, it's quite a fun thing to do from time to time, but I'm trying to cut it down to how much editing I use in my videos now, because I enjoy making the edits sometimes, but I don't like the time it takes to fit in those gaps in between the short videos in between the main video. I don't like having my time filled up with just constantly editing. It was fun when I first discovered it, but now I just don't feel that way anymore. And yeah, I have covered a lot of different videos, from model railway videos, the mainline videos, the heritage railway videos, to adventure videos when I was going out walking with my mum or my sister, and I film places when I normally walk, which I haven't done really much from the last few years. But yeah, if you are thinking of becoming a YouTuber, a content creator on YouTube, think about what you want to base your channel off of, what you want it to be about. Either it's your passion or your dreams, aim for those. What I recommend to new content creators as well is to think to how you want it to look like when it comes into play, to actually putting the thing together. I have found myself, since my channel has lifted off the ground, so to speak, in through time, and the only thing that's really lifted my channel off the ground is my short videos. Because my most popular videos is the one in the middle. You can see popular on the screen on your computer or phone. My most popular videos I have done over the last few years, the underground one on the is it the Bakerloo line or Piccadilly line? I can't remember which line it was, but I recorded that underground tube line train, and it stuns me to think there's 9k viewers to watching it, and then 5k.9 for a javelin. And more amazingly, for the HSTs, everyone loves them, so I put that one up near Rathbone. That's a 5k currently. It amazes me. And then cross country HST just there from 2023, 2.3k. And then yeah, it's just incredible. Some of these videos are so popular. I mean, the Flying Scotsman was just something else. And Flying Scotsman originally was built just for people who are interested. The Flying Scotsman was built in 1923 by Snifer Gresley, and yeah, he made some very well-assessed steam trains. Flying Scotsman was one of the fastest steam train at the time, I believe. I know there's a bit of big battle between that and the city of Truro, but a little later on in 1938, the Mallard was produced in the NER Blue, and it had a maximum speed of 126.8 miles an hour. I think it was something like that. And yeah, she made the Flying Scotsman stand in its dust, basically, and that's crazy. But yeah, back to what we were saying. Yes, if you're a content creator or you want to become one, take your time, think about what you want to put on your channels. Don't rush into things. I didn't think to myself, when I first started my channel up 5 years ago, I didn't really think I would do this as a career. I didn't put that mindset into it when I started. I just did it for a bit of fun. I just put my mind to maybe some new possibilities to unbox, to run some trains. I did quite a lot actually over the last few years. 2 years to 3 years ago, my longest video I'd done, and it was the most popular, was like 6k viewers, and that was 3 years ago. That's 11k viewers. So that just gives you an example. Sometimes you do something correctly and you can add bits in to make it more nice for the viewers or the subscribers. That makes them more interesting. They tend to watch those particular videos. And bear in mind, over the years I've had basically I had some time over those years. 3 years ago I spent quite a bit on a constants table for my layout. I did also spend a lot of money on unboxing and viewing new locomotives and rolling stock, as well as coaches and wagons. I did a lot of that over those times, and I got a lot of views from it. The unboxing ones seemed to be the most popular ones back then, and the Intercity, my first unboxing of the HST was the GNER HST, which is up on the shelf right now. I bought her in 2022. It was my treat coming out of the hospital after 3 weeks being ill. So that was my first unboxing I did in that year. There's a whole bunch of others that I've done since then, but unboxings generally are coming a little bit more difficult now. I find it a little bit more too much time and patience with that. But yeah, if you have the time, patience, and you're willing to take yourself at a step where you're doing from making overall videos to start with and work your way into editing. That's how I started. It's a slow progress, but you also need to know what goes where and how the title works and the edit software. Backdrops or video slides just for the main video can be a bit of fun, and it can also make the video a bit more interest for the viewers, but it can work. The other thing I've seen on my short videos in the last few days, actually, one from Dawlish and from Bodmin last week, people asked me in this text saying, how do you manage to get some fantastic shots on the shorts? I clarified that to basically when I'm at a station or I'm on the coastline of Dawlish, or somewhere like in the Cornwall, I tend to be either on a footbridge, you're out the way of the people going on and off the train, or I'm on one end of the station platform, one away from the people getting on the train or off. That way, so I'm not being in the way of the staff either, because that means I'm not being inconvenienced for those people who are trying to get on and off the train to get to their destination. That's why I keep myself at a distance and film them as they're coming in and out, because I do cuts in between them, and that's how I get most of my good shots in the short videos. If I'm making a video for a longer video, like 15 minutes, maybe half an hour, to whatever video I'm planning that day, I tend to be more mindful how I break it down. If there's bits of the video can be a little bit daunting and a little bit boring, it can come down to certain bits into my video I can break in to make it more intriguing to the viewers. I basically use a lot of different ways to break it down a lot of the time, but in 2023, which I'll bring it in now, just trying to think, yes, So that's basically how I do my shots. I basically just get the good angle, avoid people and the staff, and just enjoy filming the trains without getting involved with other people. Basically, it's a good way to, you've got your distance, but you also got your great shot of the train coming in. So it's not too hard to follow that, I don't think, but everyone's got their own style of making their own content for the platforms. The next question I have for myself to you guys, I've basically been looking back on my own videos from time to time, not regularly, but from time to time I've been posting that message here and there on my YouTube channel and saying, what would you guys like to see in the upcoming short videos for the platform? Would you like to see particular types, from Steam to Diesel to the HSTs or the Voyagers? Whatever floats your boat, I will put them on as shorts, because I have noticed since I cut down on a lot of my bigger videos, I've been focusing on the shorter ones instead, because A, it's easy to put up. You can put the name of the place where the train's going to, and going back to. And I do that all of my shorts because it's just easier for me. When I said I put my last big video I'd done was 15 minutes. It was at 970 viewers, which is just on the 28th of July of 2023. That was just the year before I went on holiday to Dawlish for the first time. Which, to be fair, was the first time I went on holiday there. I was completely terrified because I didn't know what I was doing, or wondering what I would feel like from doing it for the first time by myself. And obviously in 2023 we moved here, just the end of summer. I think it was around July, July or August we moved here, and we've been here for now a couple of years. So it's just a lot's been going on over those 2 years, and yeah, it's crazy to think there's a lot of videos that I put up people like, there's other people don't like because it's a little bit clunky with the setup. But the only other thing I've got to mention before I read this next text thing from other people, and I think people should realise this for themselves if it helps them. If people want to basically, if they basically want to see a bit more unboxing videos, I will bring another unboxing back, or I'll bring a few more into the channel, but I might do down to a 10-minute video instead of half an hour. And obviously the special trains like the rail tours next year, or if I do go on one next year, I can film it and make a whole day of it. But the only events like that will require, and I'm going to end this video off very shortly in a minute actually, because time's getting on and I want to chill out for the evening. So yeah, if any more questions come up, I will reply to them and I will respond to them fairly promptly. So yeah, I've been on YouTube for 5 years, and I'm just under 1k subscribers at the moment. So, and I hope some of these questions and personal topics help for you. If they did, great. If you've got any more questions for me, just leave them down below on this video, and I will read them. Have a great evening, and peace out.